This episode is sponsored by Jin, to help you forget the time you had jaw surgery and the meds caused you to hit on the handsome male nurse while half naked, and he held a jug of your piss in front of your parents and doctors. Pokemon, the game where cute cuddly little monsters fight in a blood sport for the amusement of fatherless children. A world where every child is given their first Pokemon at the age of 10, and then thrust out into the cold, unforgiving world to stop evil corporations from using the embodiments of space and time to remake the world in their image. Or, just to flood the earth because they really like water for some reason. Starting with Pokemon X and Y, the Pokemon series got a little more obvious about how complicated the world was. Gone were the brief hints and guesses at possible wars and dead Pokemon. Now the plot involved just straight up mentioning those wars. You see, 3,000 years before the start of the game, there was a war where Pokemon were used literally as weapons. One of the Pokemon used in the war was a tiny flower Pokemon named Floette that belonged to a man named AZ, or Az, I really don't know how it's supposed to be pronounced. One thing that's entirely unimportant but I have to mention is that AZ is 9 foot tall. This dude is 3 meters of fucking man. Someone, when creating this story, thought to themselves, let's just make this motherfucker an oak tree. Anyway, his Floette died, and AZ didn't like that. So he created a machine that could bring back the dead, but also had the tiny little side effect of killing Pokemon in order to do this. So, anyway, he brought back his little flower Pokemon at the cost of tons of other people's Pokemon, not realizing the irony, but then his Floette saw what had been used to bring it back to life and shunned AZ. This made AZ mad, so mad in fact, that he turned the machine into a weapon and single-handedly ended the war by fucking up both sides. Another side effect that I forgot to mention is that AZ was close to the machine and is now immortal. Don't ask how that works. He shows up later in the game dressed like a homeless man, and that's not a joke because he's been wandering the Pokemon land aimlessly mumbling about his little flower Pokemon. The guy is kind of dangerously one note. Anyways, I'm pretty sure there was a reason why I brought up that story other than to mention the fact that there's a 9 foot tall man that I want to choke me with his foot. So in Pokemon, there's a multiverse. There's been hints and sometimes even straight up points where it gets mentioned. Now, I'm gonna sound fucking crazy right now, but I swear, there was a page on Bulbapedia that explains that the multiverse existed, and that the meteor that killed the dinosaurs here in the real world was sent from the Pokemon region by the Tall Man's Cannon, but I can't find any evidence of this ever existing, but I swear I read it. Anyway, I fell down the rabbit hole explaining how there's a Pokemon multiverse and I need an outlet for it. The Pokemon timeline is pretty straightforward from red and green all the way to black and white too. X and Y introduced Mega Evolutions, which at first made it seem like they were a new occurrence in the Pokemon universe, but Alpha Ruby and Omega Sapphire tossed all that out the window when it released because despite being a remake of older games, it introduced new lore that was inconsistent with the main canon. Now, all of a sudden, Mega Evolutions has been around since the beginning of time. Groudon and Kyogre can fucking Mega Evolve. Not to mention that the story of Emerald was changed into what would be called a Delta episode, where Sky Pillar is created by ancient humans to get Rayquaza to wake his lazy ass up and destroy bigger and bigger meteors every 1,000 years. A character in this game even mentions that there's another Hoenn region that is exactly the same. A free and parallel reality. Now, buckle in, because I'm about to blow this whole thing wide fucking open. So back when I learned all this, I only thought that there was 2, possibly 3 realities. The real world, the game's original world, and then the Mega Evolution timeline. But when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon decided to go nuts with the endgame content to pad out what was essentially just the same game twice. The endgame introduces Rainbow Team Rocket. What the fuck is a Rainbow Team Rocket, I hear you asking, Billy? Well, it's a Team Rocket made up of every villain from the Pokemon games working together. Simple enough? No. Each villain is from a timeline where they kicked our 10-year-old asses, and now they're teamed up to kick our tiny little asses together. Screw the logistics of it all. It doesn't even matter. Why would they team up? When they won? They already won. Why did they need to come to our reality? It doesn't matter. That's not even touching on the fact that Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon introduce fucking wormholes and people just friggin' fall into them and end in different places. And a woman from Ruby and Sapphire from the original timeline might have fallen through one and ended up in the new timeline. And I feel like I fell through the same fucking wormhole because I swear to God there was an article that explained that the meteor that hit us and caused the Ice Age was sent from the Pokemon world, but I can't find it anywhere. But I can find things about Mega Evolution timelines and the Rainbow Team Rocket. it, but not this. And you know what also cheeses me off? Because Sword and Shield might be in another timeline, because it doesn't have any references to any other Pokemon games that I noticed, or could find anywhere online. And there's no explanation for why there's a ghost girl in Lumino City in X and Y. Why can't I find anything about her? Is she from a different timeline where everyone is rude and freaks other people out for fun? Because, seriously, I don't understand why she's there and why it's never explained. Why does she say it's not you? Why did the lights flicker? Why does she disappear? I really hope this is appearing on screen right now, because it's really important. Why are there so many unexplained mysteries in this world? There's just so many inconsistencies, because there's even a character whose name I can't remember right now because I'm drunk, who doesn't age, but like Red and Green from the original game show up in the Mega Timeline and they've aged 17 years, but another character from Ruby and Sapphire also shows up and he hasn't aged a day, and it's like, why is the aging so inconsistent? Why are there timelines? Why does it have to be this way? Anyway, let me know in the comments what other games you want me to drunkenly rant about. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I really need to lie down now.